Well, with a further 1 million people expected to arrive in Europe this year, the availability of aid is crucial. The Red Cross and Red Crescent are working in 28 countries across the migratory route to provide assistance to refugees. And I'm pleased to say we're joined by Mehmet Guluoğlu, the Director General of the Turkish Red Crescent. Mehmet, many thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for accepting us.
What are the main challenges facing your organization when it comes to trying to help Syrian refugees?
I mean, the main challenge is about, of course, the numbers. In Turkey, we are dealing with more than 2.5 million, and in the rest of the Europe, more than 1 million, and the number may increase. And in fact, while for the refugee issue, we are not only dealing with Syrian refugees from the other countries, but of course, mainly the Syrian refugees. And the uncertainty is another challenge for all of Red Crescent movements and humanitarian sector, because what's happening inside Syria is affecting the situation in Turkey, and then it's affecting the rest of the Europe, the rest of the world. That's why the numbers, current numbers, and the uncertainty is the big challenge, and for this year, and probably it can go for more years.
We've now had this huge influx of refugees leaving Aleppo and approaching Turkey's border. Turkey is no longer able to bring them into Turkey. What pressures is this putting on Turkey? Is it able to handle any more refugees?
I mean, more than the situation, what Turkey's decision, the situation inside Syria is much more important. I mean, if there is a safe area and safe time period, they can keep in Syria. But if the conflict goes on to the border side, there's nothing to do, which Turkey did until now, that accepted more than 2.5 million. That's why if there's a safe area inside Syria, of course for them to live inside Syria is better. But if there is no space, no living condition, no any safe place, then nothing to do, then the neighbor countries, not only Turkey, the neighbor countries are opening their borders. But this is not only problem of only the three countries. This is the problem of regionally, then this is the problem of globally, in fact. Because globally, if we cannot build the peace, then these are the national results of the issue.
Well, how would you describe how European governments have dealt with the refugee crisis?
I mean, my personal opinion is, although they are late, now they are awakened and they are doing much more. And by doing much more aid to Turkey, to neighboring countries, to crisis. But in fact, there is still to do much more. We should build the peace. We should make the pressure, I mean, especially political leaders should do that. As the humanitarian sector, whatever we do, we are just palliative solutions, and we need much more for building peace. And political leaders are responsible for that. And there are some sites, I mean, Syria mainly, and Russia, Iran, and some other states are on the ground. And what they are doing, especially in the last 6 months, is directly affecting the situation in Turkey, the humanitarian situation inside Syria, the humanitarian situation in Turkey and the rest of the world. That's why being political leader is not something easy. They have big responsibilities, and not just only by giving the aid, not only by giving the relief by money. This is something about political pressure. It's needed. As you are showing, the babies are dying, and babies are not the side of any political side. They are not, I mean, a baby cannot belongs to any group. That's why civilians, babies, elderly, women are dying. That's why being political leader, being strong countries, political leader, brings lots of responsibility. That's why not only from Europe, but also mainly starting with Europe, the political leaders' responsibility, they should know about that.
What do you think 2016 holds for the millions of refugees around the world?
I mean, 2016 will be really a different year, because the relation between EU and Turkey and the uncertainty for that. And you know, also the agreement between EU and Turkey for the implementation, for the application of that agreement, we will see how it will be in this year. And another issue, of course, the numbers. I mean, especially on the summertime, the increase of the refugees journey is increasing, and we will see what to do. And if we can, in Turkey, in neighbor countries, inside the Syria, if we can give them better life conditions, this influx will decrease. I hope it will decrease. But also the reaction from the Europe countries, the reaction from those called developed and the rich countries will be important, because if we can first build the peace, and then if we can give the conditions, the better life conditions wherever they are, then I think they will be living in wherever they are. Of course, it is not that easy. What I am saying is not that easy. First of all, the urgent ceasefire is needed, and then the conditions, whatever they need, from health to the education to the livelihood, I mean, to other things they need, especially Syrians, but only not for the Syrians. The world needs much more peaceful place. That's all. But this year will be important. We will see what will happen for the Syrian refugee situation, the situation inside the Syria. This year should be very important year for the, of course, on the positive way, on the better way for Syrians.
Indeed. Many thanks for joining us, Mehmet Guluolu.